Hi guys, good afternoon and welcome to WGSN, where it is going solo network. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, last one of the year. And wow, I can't believe it's the last 12 months have gone so quickly. If I'm honest, looking back, what's it now, on the 22nd of today? And so I was looking at the calendar to double check the day, but yeah, I can't believe Santa's coming in 3 days time. And for another 7 days after that, we are into the new year. And today I've thought about what we're going to discuss, and since we're wrapping things up for the new coming 2022, we'll come in with the new and out with the old. And I thought I'll just give you a synopsis or like a brief roll down of the last 12 months, what I've been through, what we've been through on the Whimzy, my company that we're developing here in America, and some of the good stuff that we've been doing in England as well, and what's coming in 2022 with that aspect across the pond. And what else we've got going on? Not really much. Christmas is coming, like I say, as we all know, in 3 days time. Not that I'm very prepared, but I've got 2 more days, so I'm all good. But let's crack on with the show and start with the reflection of the year. 12 months, December, going back on the last 11, excuse me. It's been a good year. It's been up and down. It's been like a roller coaster. Well, if you've never been to England, Thorpe Park, one of the best, or Alton Towers, one of the best theme parks you could ever go to. It's like a miniature Walt Disney Land World. No, World in Florida. That's the one I've been to, the one in Florida, not the one in California just yet. But breathtaking roller coasters, absolutely amazing. And so it's been like that for me, yeah, personally. Top of the year, got my citizenship to allow me to stay in America, which was always a bonus, I don't want to run the fear of getting deported for any reason. So I thankfully got my green card through, and that is pretty much smooth sailing. I thought I was a little bit anxious at the beginning of the year to see only from the time standpoint of view. If you've never been through the process, you're very fortunate. But if you are, come and find me and I'll give you some tips and some pointers of what to expect and how much it really costs, because it is quite expensive procedure to go through. But nevertheless, when I started at the beginning of the year, they gave me a feedback of around between 17 and 23 months to process the application for the next stage of my citizenship. But it didn't take too much longer after my formal interview in June. I think it was May. Yes, no, June. It was June, beginning of June. And I spoke to the gentleman, the old interrogation, what you see on TV, and you go through all those procedures and oh my, I wonder what they're going to be asking me today. But it was quite informal and quite a structured conversation with him. And by the end of the conversation, it was smooth sailing. And he said you should receive the green card upon my evaluation of this interview within the next 2 to 3 months. And beyond that, my surprise, it came within 3 weeks. So that was a good reflection on the year. What else we doing? Whimzy made great progress. Making strides into the right direction with it all. We've got some investors coming on board now. We had some great meetings at the beginning of the month and end of November, and those meetings progressed well. We've taken on a series of investments, and we'll be creating great things. Great strides will be coming in 2022 with the Whimzy and the development of the full rollout on OOS of the application itself, and future development of the website. So look forward to seeing more of that. What else we've been doing? Apart from as well as my travels going back to England, I delve in some property development and refurbishment and being a landlord, if you wish, or property developer in England. I've got a portfolio of properties, which I'm very grateful for having. That has taken me back and forth quite a few times over the duration of the last 12 months. I can't remember how many times I've been there. Not too many this year. I've been doing better at managing it and got staff working with me in England now. So I don't have to do the day-to-day management of it all. It's merely just the progression of the company and delving into deeper depths of what we're looking to achieve with it all and developing bigger properties and bigger developments overall. So we've been doing that. I've only been back to England, I think, excluding my trips to Spain for a little holiday and my birthday shenanigans in November. I think I've only been back to England 3 times this year, and which has been a blessing. saved me a lot of money on airfare, but I suspect, miss gaining all those air miles. I think, what is it, best part of 5,000 miles each way from Vegas to London, excluding going up to New York and then across to back down to London, sorry. But yeah, I'm grateful for saving the pennies on the airfares. That is a great shout. What else have we been doing? Increasing the portfolio, like I said, what we're looking to achieve in England and the portfolio ultimately is to create something that is bigger than I initially envisioned when I started building or creating a portfolio, if you desire, if there's the right term for it. When I started when I was 18, I bought my first investment property. But the vision, as I've started investing more and more into the portfolio itself, is to create a charity with that. It first came accord to me about, I want to say it's about 6 or 7 years ago. I went to this meeting at the local council in one of the towns that I invest in, and we was talking, have a conversation at the end of the meeting, if you wish, a 2.5 hour meeting with them, and they were saying what the new future planning developments are, the restrictions on it, the protocols we have to go through, so on and so forth. And I got talking to one of the councillors there and saying, this is what I'd like to be creating. That is a charity within itself that allows me as a company, or my company, sorry, in England, to give back to the local council for a charitable cause, whether that be for a men's shelter, whether that be for ladies or families in need of immediate shelter, or whether it be, for example, like, and it's sad that it is like this, where women have coming from a broken home or a battered home, and they got children in tow, and they've got incredibly vulnerable to the situations which they're being pushed into. So what we're looking to do within partnering with the local councils or authorities is to create a development of properties where we can give those to the charity, or we can create our own charity and build up a infrastructure around the property portfolio itself. So my vision and creation with this is that it's okay having a property that someone who needs it, as in today or tomorrow, they can move into that and have a safe shelter for the next or whatever time period they need for free of charge. It's a case of what happens thereafter. So you create a shelter for them, a safe haven, if you wish. And then what happens when you need to relocate for a job, or the children then need to go to a school, or if they've got alcohol or drug dependencies or other mental issues that may be occurring, how do you rehabilitate people to have those facilities on tap and then available to them with ease, with a property close to town proximity, where obviously the distribution of these services typically take place. There isn't too many of those available to the local boroughs or councils at the moment in England, particularly where we're looking to buy, and also where we do have a scattering of portfolio properties. So what I've been working with the councils, particularly in the summer when I was back in England, is liaising with them and seeing how we can build that infrastructure around it. Now, I thought it'd be quite easy. That was very naive of me. I don't think it is easy looking back on it all now. But if we're not creating a solution, then I guess we're still part of the problem. So what I've been setting up, and now what we're looking to do going forward, is we've created a charity, what's called an ICO in England, Incorporated Charity Organisation, and it will allow us to work with partnering, with the local boroughs of the councils, but also having that outreach programs to come in and encompass the greater solution of what we're looking to create with it all. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Sounds simple really, but it's not so simple. So we're doing that. It's been a slow year getting the coordinator and getting the communication channels open with the councils to see whom we need to be discussing having these discussions with, and also then obviously reaching out with the individual charities that are specifically help in those regions, whether it be for example for women escaping a broken marriage, or looking to create a new chapter for themselves from a broken home. It's been a toothless protocol, of going through it all and just learning and understanding how these systems at the moment are working, but not necessarily always answering the right solution to the issue. And so that's what we'll be looking forward to taking to 2022, thankfully, with the guys. I've got a brilliant lawyer who's come on board and helping us greatly with that, and he's also putting me in touch, or us, should I say, sorry, into touch with other organisations around the Outer Banks of London, so we can hopefully have a greater spread and see how we can build that community within what we're looking to achieve with it all. That's that. Point 3, what else we got going on? The charity, like I said, we've been doing that. Portfolio, it's been a difficult process. I don't know if any of you guys, I see you, Matt. It's been a challenge looking for portfolio, particularly in England. Vegas, I haven't invested in anything in Vegas, purely from the aspect of I am literally delivering all my time and efforts into developing Whimzy and the success we're going to be having with that coming next year and a few years coming on after that. But in England-wise, there's a team of us. We created this company, and we're looking to, like I say, create this portfolio on the side aspect of growing a portfolio substantial enough to sustain the charity organisation that we're obviously set up this year or the back end of this year. If you ever buy property in England, it's difficult at the moment. There isn't much availability to it, and typically when the good developments come on the market to buy and whatnot, they're pretty much either overvalued, and the yields are not returning the minimum interest of what we're looking to achieve with it. You know, we've got a minimum interest of what we're looking to achieve, whether it be 3, 4, 5% yield. But we've got certain different calculations to what you'll find typical estate market the property at. So maybe they'll be market a property at like returning between 7 and 10% yield. But then their calculations are very much different to what we take into consideration to whether it's a sustainable property development or investment going forward. Certainly, we've been finding that for apartments that we're looking to buy a bulk in an individual development, the service charge or maintenance fees are frighteningly expensive. They take up literally about 3 or 4% of the yield of the income per annum, and it's ridiculous prices. So we probably stepped away from that a little bit too shyly just because of those prices. But we're looking for the future development of that. So stay tuned. Maybe an interesting year next year as we delve into deeper depths of this all. What else we got? Oh, this year has been fantastic. Granted, COVID has played a problem with obviously traveling into Europe and the rest of the world, obviously not necessarily in America, but the rest of the world has been a problem. But I was very fortunate. We went on a 2-week holiday to Spain, traveled around that. Where did we go? We went to Madrid, flew into Madrid, had a beautiful 3 or 4 days there. Then we dived over to, if you've never been to Spain, Madrid's centrally located, pretty much so, of the country. Then we went over east to Valencia, which is a beautiful, beautiful city. If you've never been, you should definitely check it out. It's cheap, 80 cents for a beer. That's euros, so not American dollars. But the equivalent will be $1 a beer in happy hours. It was insane. Bottle of wine, go to a supermarket, you're paying €1.05. €1.05. It's like $1.30 for a bottle of wine, and it was good. At the night time, you're going out, enjoying beautiful food. Even when we went up to Bilbao, which is essentially north of Spain, a little quaint town, one of the oldest towns in Spain, or cities, in Spain. They also speak a different language, which I didn't realise until I went there. Basque. Never heard of it. I thought it was like a different area with Spain, but no, they speak their own language as well. But anyway, we went to Valencia, beautiful beaches, beautiful wine, food was fantastic as well. We stayed in this beautiful hotel, which was just newly developed. Funny enough, first day we arrived there, it was open new. It was open to the public for the first time ever, and it was brilliant. It was called One Only. Forgotten, but I'll come back to it. Probably when we go over the adverts, I'll quickly research it and I'll find the name. But beautiful, beautiful city, and they had this festival going on that which typically takes place in March, and I've forgotten the name yet. well, it's about to come back to that too. 2 points to come back with after the break. Yeah, beautiful. Then we drove up to Barcelona. Brilliant city. Everyone heard of Barcelona and obviously Les Ramblers, all the food, and the beaches, or the beach. It's a very long stretch of beach along in Barcelona. The wine, obviously, doing all the touristy things was fantastic. And then we drove over to Bilbao. Beautiful, like I said. Touched upon that. Small, green, mountains surrounding Bilbao. Bilbao is typically in a valley, and surrounding it all, you're pretty much dropping in onto Bilbao, and it's beautiful. All the surrounding mountains and the countryside. And the vineyards driving into Bilbao from Barcelona. There's about a 6.5 hour drive from Barcelona to Bilbao. The drive and the countryside was breathtaking. Absolutely a great time. If you do it, please check out the route and the vineyards. We didn't have time to stop, and enjoyed it, sampled all the the opportunity to sample all the great wine there, but it was well worth it. And we went to Bilbao, stayed there for a good 4 days, had a great explore around there, beautiful city again, and didn't realise just how small the town was. It's beautiful cobbled streets, all pretty much, not high rises is the wrong word, but tall buildings, and as if they've been built in the 16th, 17th century. It was absolutely breathtaking in some of the places. We stayed in a little boutique hotel right in the city centre, and the independent shops, you've got the bakeries, you've got the little restaurants, you've got the little wine bars, and it was lovely. All the cities that we went to, they've got a little like a square, if you desire. That's the right time. Yeah, it's a square, and it's just local musicians and local performances, obviously doing little acts and playing music for you, and go around, and they come around at the end of obviously asking for tips and whatnot. So that was great. And then we drove back down to Madrid, met some friends there. You joined us for the last weekend, and we had a great time with it all. It was really an enjoyable experience. Then where else we went? We went to Marbella. Marbella, if you've never been, very far south, centrally of Spain again, cured from the restriction of COVID. A load of myself and good friends and partner, we went there for, what did we go there for? 2 weeks? Best part of 2 weeks. Celebrating my birthday, rented a villa, and we had a phenomenal time down there. Very, very, very good time. We went to Port Banús. We stayed in Port Banús actually as well. Stayed in Port Banús and Marbella, and then we're on the way back up. We stayed in Malaga before we flew out, coming back to America. But it was a fantastic time, and very humbled that we got to share those experiences this year. And it was a really, really great time. If you need any tips going around Spain, check me out and send me a message or email on Neil@Whimzy.app, and I can give you some great pointers of where to go and what to expect when you go to Spain, because it is absolutely breathtaking when you go in there. Hire a car. Don't hire a car from America. I had a friend hire me a car from England to rent in Spain. So we picked it up in Madrid, drove around for the entire 2 and a bit weeks, whatever it was in the end. And the cost I got quoted when coming back to, big pardon, I got quoted in America, Googling, got price comparison sites, rent a car in Madrid, pick it up, 2 weeks, drop it off at the same airport. It came in at like $378. I got the exact same car for the exact same company by a friend who'd done the search for me in England, and it cost me $180. It's a saving of $200. For what? They're a different URL and IP address. That was the only difference. Exactly the same times, exactly the same dates. Drop-off points and time to pick up and drop off, and it's for the same car as well. And I couldn't believe it. In the end, it was a little Hyundai small thing, but honestly, cheap as chips to run, and petrol's pretty cheap in Europe, so there's no dramas there with that. What else was going on? My birthday, and then finally the last trip of the year, when I met some friends in New York for a little bit of knees up. That's fantastic. You ever been to New York at Christmas? It's exactly what you see on the movies. Christmas tree outside. Oh my God, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, huge Christmas trees everywhere. Absolutely. I went to Macy's. It's fantastic. It was a great experience. We went to watch the Brooklyn Nets play. We went down to, obviously, the south point of Manhattan itself. We went over to, where else did we go? Roosevelt Island. That's fantastic. Cable car going over. Oh, it was amazing. Brilliant trip. That was for 5 days. Tiring, don't get me wrong. Absolutely shattered from that little trip to New York. We flew directly, thankfully, from Vegas. Come back directly, but time difference didn't really affect us too badly. Not coming back from Spain anyway, but we were well versed for that. But in New York, it wasn't as expensive as I feared. Eating out wasn't too badly. We only ate two times a day, so that wasn't too much of a stretch. Drinks, they weren't too expensive. Probably I'd say Vegas is more expensive than what New York was from my experience. Where else do we go in New York? Oh, obviously Times Square, you see all that. That was beautiful at Christmas. I think lit up. Where else do we go? Obviously to Wall Street. That was cool. Went down to the river. Oh, it was just breathtaking. Absolutely loved it. Hotels, expensive, ridiculously expensive. And a tip for you, if you're leaving around 3 or 4 o'clock, get back to JFK from Manhattan, allow at least 2 hours. The Uber was $146. Ouch. So anyway, that's my point. I've got so much more to ramble on, but it's more important that I just wanted to share some great things that we've managed to achieve this year. Looking back, I don't know where the last 11 months have gone. Rolling into December from having the weekend in New York and realizing now I'm only 3 days away from Christmas, and would have got a fantastic weekend planned for that. Sadly, no Boxing Day in America, like what I'm accustomed to in Spain. In England, we celebrate what's called Boxing Day after Christmas Day. Basically, it's it used to be a day of peasantry. Feed the rich, the old dukes and lords who owned vast amounts of land and helped had people coming on the land to tend and look after us all and look after the manors and the freaking castles they used to own. Basically, they used Boxing Day for the leftover scraps of the food and any gifts that was unwanted, and they'll just pass it out to the staff who tended to the property and their needs for the year. So in England, we celebrate that for some unbeknown reasons. Probably it's a public holiday, so that's probably why. The only reason as to why we celebrate it. But in all honesty, it's a good time to get with the family and friends and have a great time and obviously catch up and reminisce over the last 12 months. But more important, I suspect, for a lot of people and myself, is to catch up in football. Boxing Day in England, soccer. Sorry, guys. Soccer in England is a fantastic day. All games are were up until TV rights came in before it started throwing money around. But you could watch easily 5 or 6 games throughout the day, and while you're filling your belly and drinking copious amounts of alcohol or soft drinks. But it was a great time. We won't get to do that here, but I will be frequenting myself at a bar, catching up on some football, having some great food, going out and spending it with the people who mean most to us. So I wish you all a wicked weekend with that as well. I think we're going to take a break shortly, and then after that, we will be discussing what we are going to be looking forward to 2022 and how that's going to plan out, or at least how I'm envisioning how that's going to plan out. And but I'll be telling more details on that shortly. But what we're going to do shortly is talking more and going into depths of that and what I'm looking forward to, and hopefully sharing that with you guys as well. So stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break from our great sponsors here, and we'll be back shortly. Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you for appreciating that quick break for our sponsors. They help out dearly with this running of the show and those others that come on board as well. So, excuse me, recapping obviously what we've done that for the last 20 minutes, and it's been a fantastic year. I know we all experience the highs and lows of the year, and drawing into the Christmas period and into the new year, that week between, I think it allows for a great. Well, it allows me, last year allowed me for a great reflection on, what I want to achieve with this year, and more importantly, what I failed at doing. And there were many things I failed at doing personally, especially with personal relationships. I didn't make the best choices that I could have done. Failed at, doing the things I set out commit to, doing out on a professional capacity as well with the app, and the business businesses I've got in England as well. So towards the end of this year, COVID kind of hampered some of those things I was looking to achieve within England, and with Whimzy itself, rolling the app out on a development, continuation of that. And I struggled with that at the beginning of the year. I was sort of like in a lull with it, and it took me a little bit of a while to find a traction with what I was looking to achieve, and really what I wanted to get hold of with the app, and to target the right direction, the avenues which I was looking to go with. And through many conversations and great meetings and meeting great people and having those whispers in my ear of what I can be doing better with and going forth with, it's taken me some time and gotten some traction with that. But the last 3 or 4 months, I've definitely found my feet on a professional level within building Whimzy out to be something that I think it truly will be in the coming months and years to come. So stay tuned for that. But no, in all honesty, and jokes aside, the week between Christmas, I think it's a great downtime period. I know typically it's a slow week for any of those who are working anyway, but I think it's a great time for us to reflect and to see where we didn't personally achieve with ourselves, or the milestones what we were looking to do with it. 12 months. I always think January. Think Jesus, can't wait for the summer to come around. But then by the time the summer comes around, I'm thinking, wow, we're in September already. We've only got 4 months till Christmas comes. And I always look at the years, or the year in itself, and just think, okay, so get through January and February. They're the typical dark blue, moody days. Obviously, the weather's not so good. Granted, living in Vegas is a different picture to that story, but certainly in England, I definitely had those dark days earlier on in my 20s and 30s, especially with the work. And obviously, days are short. The mornings are incredibly dark. You come home, it's just as dark at 4:30, 5 o'clock. But thankfully, yesterday was the longest day of the year. So roll on into 2022 when the night days will be getting longer back now. So we'll be getting some back. But no, the reflection I find in this next 7 days is quite a blessing, and I do enjoy it. I've already started making my list, which I'm going to share with you shortly, of what I'm looking to get hold of next year. Some things haven't really got to grips with this year, just because I really didn't dedicate enough time or structure to my day to allow those things to come into it. I remember when I first started presenting these shows with you guys and having these conversations, and when I was very much so getting up at 4:30, I'd meditate for half an hour, read for an hour. I'll go through my morning routine, then go to the gym, and then start the day work by 8:30. And as the days have got shorter, and then the more commitment I put on myself to travel, for, like I say, in Spain, and I had a 3-week break, and then I came back to England for some work commitments, and then I came back for 2 weeks, and I was back in, where was I? Back in Spain for my birthday, celebrating that. And then we extended that a little bit initially that was than we were going to do originally. So that ate into some time, and then we came back 10 days. I was incredibly, wasn't sick, but I was incredibly hungover from travel, drinking excessively, yes, and eating far too much good stuff. But I just felt very, very sluggish and very tired and exhausted from it all. And so after New York, I stopped drinking. Granted, it's only been 10 days, no, 14 days almost. But nevertheless, I've stopped drinking. So I've really cut down on the drinking now. I haven't drank for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, whatever it is. So that's given me some reprieve from working out, because going back to the gym after all this time, I had 6 weeks off from it, the travel commitments and feeling rough, and I had a chest infection as well from that. I really struggled with going back to the gym. And obviously, I've told you on the last couple of episodes of my challenge to run 100-mile races. One's coming up at end of February, where there's loads. Effectively, through coming into spring, March, Easter, May, and into June, there's copious amounts of races that I've been eyeing up and looking into. I just need to work it within my work schedule to which one I can fit in realistically. But the training is tapered off somewhat over the last. Certainly, I didn't train for 5 weeks while I went away. But for my birthday and coming back to New York, and I struggled going back to the gym the last 2 weeks, getting into the habit of running every day and working out every day as well. Either side of the day, going to the gym by 6:30 in the morning, 6 a.m. in the morning, doing an hour and a half at the gym, whatever that may be, and then obviously doing a good hour and a half run in the evening has been a struggle, to say the least. Certainly on my lungs as well. I think I'm blaming alcohol and obviously the lack of sleep I've had over the last few weeks because of that. But going into New Year, I've definitely been homing in on that running front, because I said to myself I will definitely be doing this race, by the end of February, beginning of March. I'm going to definitely hold myself to that, because I will be royally disappointed in myself if I do not achieve that. So that is happening. I just need to select which one and which one I can travel to, because there aren't any 100-mile races in Las Vegas or Nevada. Closest one is in California as well. There's a couple in Utah. So I just need to work out the logistics of that and fit it into my schedule. What else we've got coming into this new year? First things first, obviously Whimzy, could touch up on that. We've got, like I said, we're in discussion with some round of investment coming on with some investors that we're in discussion with, and which points they're coming in on that investment deal. So that's some great news, and we're in the development stages, obviously, for further features within the development process as well. So January will be taking these investors on board and building out our team, and also the development of the application itself. iOS first, not Android, sadly, but it's coming. It will be coming. And also we'll be further developing the website itself to give him more information and a clean-cut booking process for what we're achieving with Whimzy. So that's coming. My running and physical challenges. Now, I touched upon that. I failed miserably over the last 5 weeks. Got back into it the last 2 with my running. 100 miles is definitely on the cards. Like I said, I just need to touch which one. And physically, I'm not in the best of shape as I desired so far. The gyms are becoming a little bit of a routine, just getting into the same habits. I need to change up my training and probably add in a few more physical activities to do that, whether it be going back to boxing or playing more football in the new year, or just obviously doing probably maybe some track events as well. Maybe fancy it. I know I'm 40 right now, but I still feel as if I could sprint challenge. Maybe I should start doing some sprint challenges or some like tough mudders or something like that. But something that's a more mental of a challenge for me rather than just the physical aspect of it. Definitely going to be looking into more of those challenges in the new year. Certainly. What else we've got to come up? The charity, I already touched on that at the beginning of the show. If you've only just tuned in, hello. Like I said, I'm very fortunate, just a quick overhaul of it. I'm very fortunate to have a portfolio of a couple of properties, and we're we're setting up a charity arm of that to help out with the homelessness situation in England. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not investing here in America just yet. Probably we're looking to buy a house with back end of next year or the year after, with what we're looking to achieve with next year. Probably won't work in that time frame just yet. Who knows? Never say never. So charity, like I said, that'll be up and rolling by middle of March, just because of the incorporation of it all in England and the paperwork and the charity commission you have to go through, and to making sure, obviously, that you meet the rigorous standards that they adhere to. So we're doing that, and then we're looking to certainly buy a property that we can put into this charity organisation and get the ball rolling, and to hopefully make some lives better by having a property that's free of charge and no overheads for someone, other than obviously the insurance that we'll take care of, the utilities will be taken care of, and obviously the monthly mortgage. That sadly, all properties, most people have the unfortunate realization that you have to pay at some point or another. We'll be taking care of that. So we'll be looking to roll that out probably beginning of April, beginning of May, hoping all goes well with the charity commission. And obviously then we're going to find the right property to put into that network of what we're achieving with it, and obviously to bring out the external organizations with like education, any medical or mental disabilities that people may be facing in life. We're going to reach out and put them in connection with that, and obviously further education, schooling, and so on and so forth, and food programs and whatnot. But that's all coming at, like I say, beginning of spring, certainly going into the beginning of summer as well. So that's very exciting. I'm very excited about that. I'm very passionate about that. As I got older, the more I've realised that how we as in not humans, but I mean we as in Joe Blogs, everyday society can be doing so much more for others, and how sometimes we don't, for whatever reason, life takes hold of ourselves, and we've got to come home after 9 to 5 or whatever 12-hour day shift, and you look after the family as well, and you're looking after the children or external family as well. So that time window or that window frame of offering those services to other people is limited, and I appreciate that. So, but I'm putting that on myself to do a greater good within that. Certainly. What else we're going to? Oh, routine. I touched upon that just before the break we had, but man, my routine's definitely tapered off to be pathetic, if I'm honest. As I sit here in front of you this morning, I got up at 4:30, goes downstairs, my eyes are incredibly heavy. I think I look a little bit tired right now, but anyway, goes downstairs, makes himself a cup of tea, a nice bottle of water to wake myself up, splash on the face, to get those eyes working as I need them to be. And within half an hour reading the book, I fell asleep on the couch for half an hour. I blew away my morning. I woke up in a daze, and I was like, man, it's sort of shit out. So I'm saying this to you so you can hold me accountable. But yeah, the meditation, the morning routines of the things I'm pleased with having every day in my life. Waking up and seeing having a beautiful part of my life, and having a great job and having this opportunity to create an app and develop a company and an app. These things, I'm very grateful for, and incredibly humbled that I get to delve in these every single day. So I need to be, or will hold myself more accountable to these attributes that I hold dearly to me, and what I'm looking to achieve with it all. So, my routine that I started at the beginning of the year went down the pan effectively by now. This morning, fall asleep for whatever it was, that's half an hour, whatever it was, 40 minutes. Really sunk into me. I was really disappointed with myself. So, because it's been happening when I came back from New York, it's last 2 weeks I've been in struggle getting up at 4:30. Snooze one too many times to the point where I'm like, just get your ass up, boy. So yeah, not happening next year. Not happening at all. So I'll be wrapping that up really quickly tomorrow. And obviously, what day is tomorrow? No, Christmas Eve. Beg your pardon. Christmas Eve, Friday, obviously. We've got a day of action planned for Christmas Eve, which I'm really looking forward to as well. Christmas Day, Boxing Day, Monday, Soccer's on in England, so I'll be tuning in for that. Tuesday, a bit of work. Wednesday, work. Thursday, work. And then obviously New Year's Eve. Celebrate the weekend, rolling into the new year like there's no tomorrow. And then back to it on the Monday, which will be the 3rd. Jesus. And then we'll be joining you in the new year. So really looking forward to that. But no, you know, I'm committing myself to increasing my training regime. I want to be doing these 100-mile races and obviously being in better physical shape. You know, maybe one day I could be on front of Men's Health. Joke. That is a joke, but I do not have a vision of myself being on Men's Health at the tender age of a 40 or 50-year-old, whatever it may be. But fair play to those obviously who are on it. But no, it's more of a mental challenge for me. This getting a good transition in the mornings to allow the workflow going through the day and coming home, have some dinner, the other half having a great evening, and then obviously going out for an evening run or going to the gym next door to get that additional win. You know, so I'm reading the book again. I've already read it, called The Outliners. If you haven't read it, it's a great book. You know, and within it, I'm sure a lot of you who do know of the book, you know, 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours is the myth or like the legend, what precedes it, obviously, to be great at your desired desired sports or whatever your profession is, whether it be in computering or whether it's development, or whether it be running a company, or whether it be being a chef, or, you know, whether it be a sports star, whatever it is. 10,000 hours is basically the rule of thumb that you need to be excellent and excel in whatever you're doing. So I need to up that ante, and I need to up it quickly. So 10,000 I can't do it in a year. I can roughly do 700 hours in a year. So that's roughly 7 years. So I need to kickstart my life again at 40 years old. So that's what's coming next year. I need to keep myself at the bottom, have a fantastic year, and that's what I'm looking forward to embracing everything that I desire to do, to achieve, and to become. So wrapping up, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for listening to me for another show and the last one of the year. I'm very much looking forward to coming into 2022 with you guys, and have a wonderful Christmas and New Year's, and we look forward to seeing you then. Until then, have a great Christmas and stay safe, everyone.